Jill Lajdziak, General Manager, Saturn.
Bob Lutz, Vice Chairman, Global Product Development.
So Jill, I was talking to you earlier, and you said that Bob was very instrumental in helping get Saturn back on track.
Absolutely. I think, and Bob probably remembers this, when he came into the company, we had the good fortune to have dinner. Actually, it was all the general managers at the time, and had dinner, and it was a fascinating evening, and he made the offer for any of us to reach out to him and talk about what we needed. And I took that opportunity as an open door to very quickly follow up with him, sent him over a 9-page document about what I thought we needed, and it kind of went from there. And I think what was unbelievable is Bob made the comment that from a Saturn standpoint, he thought that we had the toughest part figured out, great customer handling. What we really needed to do is give this great brand some great product.
Well, that's true, and I've always liked Saturn as a brand, and I used to observe it from afar before when I was still working for competing automakers, and I could never figure out why General Motors, having made this huge investment into this very good brand that was appealing to import intenders, which many American brands weren't, that after the initial successful Saturn car, it was never really properly followed up. And when it was followed up with the L series, which was perhaps not the best product choice, and this brand was expected to survive and prosper with essentially 1.5 cars. And I think it's a testimonial to the way Jill and her predecessors have run the Saturn division, that these dealers have remained alive and well, and have actually been able to hang on to 200,000 plus units of volume with essentially very little in the way of new product. And to me, it's a brand that is among the GM brands the best reputation for customer service, customer handling, honest dealings with the customers, and therefore repeat business, and therefore also has credibility with import owners. And to me, it's just. I asked sometimes, why are Saturns designed like that? Well, we deliberately design them to look dull because a Saturn is a brand for people who don't care about cars, and they only care about the dealer experience. And I said, well, that's ridiculous. What would happen? Wouldn't it be powerful if we combined that reputation for service and customer care? What if we combined that with truly appealing products? I mean, what a combination, right? And so that was kind of the mission that we were on. I will say Rick Wagner bought into it totally, as everybody did, so I really didn't have to fight anybody very hard. But I am very proud of the job that Jill and her people can continue to do with the dealer network, and I'm also very proud of the product development and manufacturing community in that if you look at the Saturn showroom today and compare it with the Saturn showroom of a few years ago, it's like a complete roof-to-road overhaul, and I think the Sky is probably now your oldest vehicle, right? Yeah, the oldest vehicle in the showroom.
Isn't it amazing? Sky. Yeah, that is amazing, because you just came out just a couple of years ago.
Well, we're still launching it.
Right.
I mean, at the end of the day, we're still launching the Sky.
Wow. What's of the 9 pages, Jill, that you presented to Bob? What was the one thing that you really wanted that he gave you the most?
I think unbelievable support. I think that we were both very quickly on the same page that we needed a halo vehicle for the brand, that we needed to signal to the marketplace that something indeed was going to change at Saturn, and what was going to change was bringing forward product that you could fall in love with. And the fastest way that you could signal that change is to put a sexy, emotional little roadster on the road, signal that change. And we made that happen.
You had long toyed with the Roadster, remember? You had that concept Sky, which had been done by, what was his name, Dave Smith?
That's correct.
And it was okay, but it didn't have that tremendous emotional appeal that the current Sky does. The Sky we finally did.
And then I think we were on the same page that very quickly that we bring out the Sky, but very quickly we didn't want the marketplace to think that we were a one-off. A lot of manufacturers maybe can do beautiful little roadsters, but can you do beautiful volume plays in the marketplace? And that is really one of the reasons why the cadence came very quickly then on a beautiful mid-sized car that worked.
All right, great.
Yeah, and another thing I'm very pleased with is that we've been able to take these Saturns, which are, for the most part, based on other General Motors architectures, and yet they all have a uniquely Saturn look. We now have a common design language where when you see the Astra is very clearly related to the Aura visually, and they're both very clearly related to the Sky.
Absolutely.
And everything looks like it's one manufacturer who has just renewed a whole product line.
Which was a huge opportunity area for the brand because previous products we brought out didn't have a similar look and feel. And I think, Bob,
Yeah.
you were very much in search of ensuring that we had an identity for the brand from a design standpoint.
In
And
fact,
we have that now.
Bob, you said that in our discussions on the road. You said that Saturn was something that you wanted to have an identity for, but you also wanted it to be something that, even though somebody may not want to buy a Chevy or another GM product, they would still buy a Saturn.
Well, I think that Jill provided a lot of the research on that, and we also knew at Chrysler that Saturn was one domestic brand that the import fanatics didn't categorically reject. And I think if you ask the Saturn, a lot of the Saturn buyers, and I think you're seeing more import trades now too, but
Absolutely.
you ask the average Saturn buyer, if you had not bought this Saturn, what was your second choice? And the second choice is almost always Japanese. The second choice was not, well, I might have looked at Pontiac or I might have looked at Chevrolet. So they are not General Motors intenders, and then which GM brand do I pick? There's Saturn intenders, and there is no second General Motors choice in there, which is very interesting. That's why I sort of view it as, I view Saturn as our channel to grabbing more import buyers among those who, for whatever reason, have rejected other General Motors or other domestic brands.
Well, while the industry is down, your sales are up 8%, so you guys must be doing something right.
Well, I think we expect ever greater things from Jill and her team, and I sure don't expect any Saturn dealer or Saturn executive to tell us that, gee, if only we had this or if only we had that, because I have to look Jill right straight in the eye and say, I don't know how to do a better product line than the one they've got right now.
And that's true. I think we've got the best product line in the business. And we've done really what nobody else in the industry has done on changing over a portfolio this fast in a short window of time, not only changing over the portfolio that segments what we were in, but we jumped into 3 new segments. And that's an amazing revitalization.
Jill and Bob, thank you very much.
Thank you.